Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Y'all, let's go ahead and get into episode 5 of Divorce Sistas. And the title of that episode was Breath of Fresh Air. So, episode 5 opens up with Geneva, Javon, and Tiffany. They're still at the precinct. Geneva has an attitude because they've been there all night. But I'm like, Geneva, didn't you tell Rashida that Naomi will probably be there overnight? Because of what she did and she won't be able to see a judge in the morning. So why are you mad? But we know why. So Javon goes to the back to see what's going on. Tiffany asks Geneva why didn't she ever tell her about Javon because he seems great. Geneva says, yeah, seems. So Tiffany is like, well, am I missing something? Geneva says something like that. Then tells Tiffany that she's just gonna have to ask Javon. So Tiffany is asking more questions, and Geneva still says, well, you're just gonna have to ask him because I don't know him past the courtroom. Tiffany says, but you're my girl. And I'm like, I wouldn't be too sure about that, Tiffany, because right now, Geneva is giving fake friend. She has become so irritated with Tiffany, and Tiffany hasn't done anything to her. And she could really put all of this to rest if she would just be honest with Tiffany. Geneva and that snout is really working my nerves. Like every time you look over at her, she got her nose scrunched up, rolling her eyes, exhaling. Girl, just tell her what's up. So Tiffany says she'll just ask Rashida. And she's like, well, she don't know him. She said, well, I can't tell the way she was looking at him tonight. But Geneva says that Rashida, that's just her. Then Tiffany starts going on and on about how fine Javon is, how well he smells, which is making Geneva irritated. So she tells Tiffany that even though she's been encouraging her to get back out there, she wants her to be careful. Tiffany tells Geneva that she's acting really strange. Then her phone rings and it's Bridget. Bridget says that she's about to head down there, but they let her know that there's really nothing that she can do. And then Bridget also lets them know that the incident from last night made it online, and they're trying to get the church to contain it. Javon comes down and says that they're about to let Naomi out. She comes out complaining about the police ripping her dress and how tired she is. So Bridget tries to call Rashida, but it goes straight to voicemail. When she hangs up, she sees Vaughn laying in the bed. Then she asks herself, what was she doing? He gets mad and says she's making too much noise. And he wants to know how can he sleep while she's up there doing all that talking. So she tells him that he needs to get a job because she's not about to be getting up every day going to work while he's laying on his butt. He tell her, wow, this what you think I'm doing? Well, I'm actually trying to launch my site. Bridget says, well, until that site works out, you better get a job. He said he ain't got time for those lame ass jobs because they're messing with his mental health. The same way she's doing right now. I'm like, boy, the way I would have flipped you out that bed. Bridget doesn't want to hear nothing about no mental health. She told him his generation is lazy and they love running with the mental health narrative. So Vaughn says, there you go, sounding like my mama again. He tells her if he wants to hear all that talking she doing, he'll go back to his mama house. Baby Bridget did not hesitate and said, well, maybe you should do that. Do you want me to help you pack? He says, all of this because I don't have a job? She says, no, all of this because you won't keep a job. They hear somebody knocking at the door and he tells her to go get it and to get out the room because she getting on his nerves. When she gets to the door, it's Calvin. He's there for his key. So she goes upstairs to ask Vaughn if he has Calvin's key. Vaughn is yelling, talking about he don't have the key, and he tells her to get out of his face. Calvin wants to know what the heck is Bridget doing with that little boy. He tells her that she needs a man, baby. But Calvin says he's not leaving without his key. So he wants to talk to Vaughn himself. Calvin and Bridget, they go upstairs and he says, look, Mike, where my key at? Vaughn gets irritated and says, what part of I don't have the key do y'all not understand? Vaughn tells him to get out of his house. And Calvin is like, your house? This ain't your house. So they get to tussling, knock Bridget over. Vaughn gets the best of Calvin and he's about to bust him upside his head with some kind of iron tray or something. But Bridget begs him not to do it. So Vaughn says that this is his shit, talking about Bridget's house. Then he looks at Bridget and says, F him and F you too, since you were trying to protect him. And he leaves, right? Calvin sliding all down the bed, talking some. I'm like, Calvin, you get your foot off that floor. Then he gonna get mad at Bridget, pushing her away, talking about get away from me. So I could have hurt that little boy. So Calvin, sir, look, go on. I don't know. It seemed like you was kind of holding back because, yeah, go on, Calvin, go on to the car, baby. So now over there with Jeff and Rashida. The son walks in asking for money. Jeff wanted to know if he asked his mom. He says she's not here. Jeff talking about, where is she? Is she in the guest room? The son is like, I don't know. She's your wife. So he tells the son, well, when you find your mother, you ask her. Then his phone rings and it's Myron checking on him. They have a little casual conversation. Jeff says he has to get dressed, but he'll call him in the car. Now, your son just told you that his mama wasn't there. He hasn't seen her. He has no clue where she is. And the last place you saw her was when you got out the car last night. So instead of you going through the house looking for her, you decide to just go about your morning like that was normal. Not only that, you came in the house last night, took a shower, got in the bed and went to sleep without making sure she made it in. Without telling her good night, all that. And you're about to get ready for your day? Jack, like, what the heck, man? What is wrong with you? So, Javon, Geneva, Tiffany, and Naomi, they done made it to Naomi's house. Javon tells Tiffany that he's gonna order a car home. Now, mind you, Tiffany and Javon, they just standing there, talking. But you would think that Geneva was Tiffany's bodyguard, the way she was just standing back there watching. Javon sees her, so he tells Tiffany to take his number. Then he calls her phone and says, now you have mine. And Geneva is making this face at him like, why are you playing with me like this? Tiffany and Javon keep talking, and then Geneva says, Tiffany, I can use your help in here. So Tiffany is like, oh, okay, I'm coming. Javon offers to take her to dinner later. Baby, she's really getting irritated now. And I'm thinking, Geneva, need your help with what? You ain't even took your bother tail in the house yet. Maybe when you get in there and get started with something, then I'll be right in. Until then, can you leave us two single people alone? Thank you. Whew, baby. So Tiffany asked Javon if he wanted to wait inside for his car. Here goes Geneva, jumping in talking about she don't think that's a good idea. Tiffany was like, why not? Because she thought that was strange. So she asked her like, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem with him waiting inside? Geneva ignores her and then thanks Javon for his services. Javon just stands there smirking because he know he has Geneva stirred up and he's enjoying every bit of it. So they go in the house and Tiffany asked her why wasn't a good idea to, let Javon just wait inside. Geneva tries to make it seem like it's because of how the police messed up Naomi's house. And I wonder what Geneva would have said if Naomi said that it was okay for Javon to wait in there. So Naomi points out the mess the police made and she says the safe is missing. Then she tells them that's why she burned Lindsay. And I'm thinking, why didn't you do all of that to Franklin though? So, of course, she drinking, and Geneva tells her, put the drink down. She's trying to take the drink from her. Bridget arrives, and she asks Naomi if she was okay. Naomi tells her that's a stupid question, but Bridget was just trying to show some concern. But I get it. When you're really going through something, that's the last question that you want to hear. But most of the time, that's the question that people usually ask. Not that they're trying to be stupid or anything. It just comes so naturally to ask that question, right? So Naomi feels like all the ladies hate her. She says she know the pastor doesn't like her and they're trying to reassure her that they do not have any hate in their heart for her. And Bridget tells her that, pastor, he ain't got nothing against you. He a good person. Naomi tells Bridget that she's been drinking the Kool-Aid down at the church because what kind of pastor would stand there and let Franklin say the things that he was saying about her? So Naomi says that she's going to sue Franklin and Lindsay, especially Franklin, because he took the best years of her life. And I'm not a fan of that statement really, because I'll be like, did they take the best years of your life or did you give them the best years of your life trying to stick around in a marriage that was no longer serving you, baby? So all the women are like, no, he didn't do that. And Bridget says the best years, these are the best years of your life. And what she say that for? Naomi goes all the way in on Bridget and tells her that she doesn't know what she's talking about because she ain't never had a man, she ain't never been married, and she's never had a man to check on her. Then she tells Bridget that she's over there taking care of a kid. That goes back to her saying she never had a man when she can't even take care of herself. Tiffany tells her, Naomi, that's not right. Don't be hurting her because you're hurt. Bridget was like me. She said, I'm fit to go. But see, I would have left. I wouldn't care nothing about Tiffany saying, no, don't leave. Naomi apologizes and says that she's not mad at Bridget. While she was saying all of that, it would have been at the back of my head because I would have been going out the door. So Naomi says again that she's going to sue Franklin. Geneva keeps saying that she doesn't think it would be wise. Tiffany is tired of all that old baby talk, all that, that sugarcoat. So she tells Geneva to tell her the truth. So Geneva says what you did was criminal and it's all over social media. Naomi talking about, well, when they hear my side of the story, girl, what side? That he came and took back everything that you were ordered to give back in the first place? You're not listening, Naomi, and ain't none of y'all helping. Let her do what she want to do. My grandma always said a hard head makes for a soft tail. She's going to end up writing checks that's going to cause her to run through that $37 million in no time. So Naomi, she ain't receiving nothing that they're saying, and she's still trying to drink. But see, they had to leave. They got to go on about their business. Tiffany, she had a showing. That's why she had to leave. Bridget got to get to work. But Geneva, she don't know what she's trying to do. So Tiffany gets a text from Javon as they're walking out. And he says that he had a really nice night. And he's excited about seeing her tonight. Geneva, she talked about, oh, so you're meeting him tonight? Girl, you know she's seeing him tonight. You stayed out there for the whole conversation. So now she mad again. And she asks Bridget if she could take Tiffany to her car, even though her car is on Geneva's route. But she says that she has to make some private conversations on behalf of Naomi. Good. So William texts Geneva to let her know that he's about to get Anika ready for school. So she lets him know that Naomi is out and she's on her way home. William goes upstairs. He wakes up Anika. They have a really cute conversation. And Anika says that she wants to give Geneva a hug. So William made it a promise that, look, you get dressed, then we'll call her. Then Javon calls William and let him know, how the night went. Then Javon invites William and Geneva to go out on the date with him and Tiffany because he's like, I'm a little rusty. But William passed because he said that Geneva wasn't going to be up to it. Seems like she's had a lot on her mind. She's been really stressed lately and he really don't know what's going on. So he invited Javon to church. They finish up their conversation and they going on about their business. So Bridget tells Tiffany that it's not working out with Vaughn and that Vaughn and Calvin got into a girl. Tiffany says that Vaughn is lucky that Calvin didn't hurt him. And Bridget's like, why you say that? She said, Calvin is a professional boxer. If he didn't beat the brakes off of Vaughn, that means he spared him. And she was like, oh, I didn't know that. So now Naomi, she calls Hakeem to find out. And it's like, Hakeem. So Naomi calls Hakeem to find out what he said. When he said, I can get things done for you, what did that mean and how far was he willing to go? He said, if she's saying what he thinks she's saying, they don't need to be on the phone. So he'll see her in about an hour and a half. Geneva, she finally makes it home. William made breakfast for her and everything. She says she wasn't hungry, so he doesn't push it. He tells her that he's about to get Anika to school, and he asks her to try and get some rest. Over there with Jeff, the daughter is looking for Rashida. She points out that she didn't sleep on her side of the bed. This man gonna say maybe she got up early. She asked him if he was lying to her. So then Kelly says she didn't sleep in the guest room either. Jeff gonna say wherever she is, your mother is fine. Kelly doesn't believe him. So she says, if y'all are getting a divorce, I want to live with you. He says that they're not getting a divorce. And she said, well, y'all should. He tells her to go and get ready for school. So Hakeem, he finally makes it to Naomi's house. He looks around like, what the heck happened over here? Naomi says she got robbed. So she tells him that she needs him to handle the person who robbed her. She told him that her ex did it, by going through the courts. She asked him how connected was he and if he could have someone removed from the planet. He says he can, but it ain't gonna be cheap. So the kids are leaving out of the house and they see Rashida in the car. And they notice that she has on the same clothes from last night. The daughter is concerned. The son is still asking for this money. The bus pulls up and they're still asking her like, Mom, what's wrong? Are you okay, baby? She done yelled at them and told them to get on the bus. And I'm like, look, ma'am. Okay, mama. I get that something is bothering you, but I ain't do it. And if that's how you gonna be hollering at me, I'm gonna stay with the daddy too. So Geneva, she done went up to the little girl's school spying on William. Javon calls checking on her. She says that she's tired of all the BS. Then she tells Javon to just go ahead and do what he wants to do. He says that he can't because she won't let him. He says, tell me you don't want me to go out with Tiffany and I won't. But Geneva says that she's not going to tell him that. And she doesn't want him waiting around, on her. He wants to know if she forgot all the stuff that she shared with him. She's looking over there at William talking to this lady and they got some flowers and she's like, I have to go. And while she's watching William, she's like shaking but nodding her head like she can't believe it. She really think that he's cheating, like she got something on him. I don't think William is cheating. I could be wrong, but we gonna see. Now, finally, Jeff has made it outside and realizes that Rashida stayed in the car all night. She says, you didn't open the door for me last night. And he called her childish because staying in the car all night to him is childish. He's like, it's an electric car. Push the button. You can open the door. It's just a door. But she keeps telling him it's not just a door. And he wants to know what in the world is wrong with her. She's trying to get him to see that he doesn't open up for her anymore. He doesn't make room for her. She feels like he does not love her. And he is looking around to see if anyone is watching because she's getting loud. And she's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You always worried about what everybody else think, how everybody else is looking at you. You always concerned about everything and everybody else except for me. Then his phone starts ringing and she's like, that's what I'm talking about. She said, just get it. So she snatches the phone and pushes the button to accept the call, but she doesn't say anything. And then you can hear Myron say, are you in the car, babe? Can you talk? And Rashida is looking at Jeff like, what what is this? What is this to talk about? Because I just told you that you had somebody that was watching over you when you got burned. I just told you that this man act like he wants you. And now to push the button, he talking about, can you talk, babe? Who is babe? So she can't take it no more, baby. She done walked off and he like looking at her like, no, it's not what you think it is. Well, you better get to explaining what it is. But that's the end of episode 5. Y'all get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you would react if you would answer your person's phone and the other person online said something like that. And how do you feel about Naomi? And what would you have done if Naomi would have said to you the thing that she said to Bridget? I just want to know. Okay. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe if y'all don't mind. And I'll talk to you later.